好，苏旺哥，欢迎来看我的实录。这一档今天要下档了，所以赶快来玩。也特别感谢他爸时的友情赞助。
The world was not always covered in miasma. As a matter of fact, we used to live all over the surface of the earth, in scattered outposts and bustling cities. Whether it was by divine punishment or by consequence of human greed, we lost all those things, and more. These days, folks live on barren mountaintops, fearing the day the miasma's fog rises high enough to poison what little land there is left. Certainly, there were a brave few who tried to stem the tide, but they paid dearly for it, with nothing in return. No, there is little hope for long-term survival now. Instead, towns like Little Rock endure to thrive as much as they possibly can. With the time they have left, they establish initiatives like the Homestead Arcana program, which places witches of age at lower elevations so they may cultivate plants for back home. With the lack of viable land, this means witches settle right next to the border where the miasma lies. Though Little Rock Council cannot officially take action, they strongly advise these witches to avoid the miasma at all costs. For fear of death, or worse.
This is your stop, ain't it?
Got everything on you, bud? Thanks for the ride, Abraham.
Yep. Well, see you later. Son willing, of course.
All right. Let's mosey on down. And there it is, the Dust Eater. That means we've reached our spot. This place is hardly changed. Well, except for all that miasma. You didn't notice? Trust me, All that purple gas didn't used to be so high up. But what can you do? Anyway, Councilman Narrows has given me the honor of overseeing your initiation rites. Normally, he'd be running it, of course, but I've only been back for a week, you know? I wanted to see for myself how much you've improved since I last saw you. So the first rite is to establish a home. After all, you can't be a homesteader without a home. Unfortunately, you'll need to start off with a tent. Not the most sturdy of structures, but gotta start somewhere. How's it going? What do you want to talk about? Hey, do you remember your first was... Now, what was it? Well, it was a flowering plant, that's for sure. You know what? I think you're right. I remembered you cared for those flowers more than you cared for yourself. Sometimes I'd catch you sneaking out in the middle of the night just to watch them. It seemed to pay off, though. Within a week, they were blooming. In the middle of winter, no less. Really showed the power of tender, loving care right there. Sure, the magic helps, but... what I'm trying to say is... it's good to care. Not enough people in this world care anymore. How's it going? What do you want to talk about? You're asking me about Little Rock? Buddy, we just got here. Aw, you don't gotta hide. Well, figures. You wouldn't be out here. Humor me then. What do you think you'll miss the least about Little Rock? I don't care much for your neighbors either. All that gossip and rumor-mongering? I'm glad to be out of that, at least. You've never lived alone before, right? So you never know. Maybe you'll realize you miss all that noise. In any case, Little Rock's not going anywhere. But we've got work to do here now, don't we? How's it going? What do you want to talk about? What? You want to talk about little old me? Why, whatever for. I'm doing all right. Over 3 centuries old and still kicking, so that's something. Seriously, though, I'm feeling kind of anxious. I know it's gotta be weird to be out on your own with nothing but a bizarre cat thing to keep you company. I just hope I can make it up to you, you know? Prove my worth. Not just to you, but to your whole family. If you say so. How's it going? All right. That'll keep the elements out. Probably. Maybe. Don't worry. You'll get the materials to build a proper house before long. Just like your Aunt Matilda did. Now, the second rite demonstrates your botany know-how. You'll need to plant a seedling and then make it grow. We'll start with a Little Rock favorite. corn. All right. Now I want to see you cast a watering spell. Should help it grow, at least a little. Of course, channeling is much more effective. You do know how to channel, right? Stop pulling my tail. I've seen you channel before. Channeling is that thing you do where you pull mana from the earth and guide it through the plant, making it instantly grow. You know, channeling. Now stop making me look like a fool and show me you can channel. Beautiful. Imagine if you couldn't channel, huh? Your plants would take forever to grow. Of course, you don't want to overdo it and blight the poor thing. All things in moderation, right? The second rite is complete, and now time for the third. You'll prove yourself as a witch by building a cauldron and then brewing spell potions. Now, I can't just give you a cauldron. That's part of the witching test. But technically, a workbench doesn't have anything to do with being a witch, right? Don't mean to nag, but are you sure that's the best place for it? Try. Not sure if that's a good spot for it either. Anyway, the cauldron. You'll need wood for... You can get some of those things in the meadow to the north, but... Very nice. All that brings me to the third rite. Potion making. Oh, right. You need silver. Before... People are always losing things, right? And anywho, you've just completed the initiation rite. Oh no. But you have to understand the miasma tides are unpredictable. When I hit it a week ago, the border was a good 10 yards away. What I'm saying is, I think your prize is in the miasma. Yeah, it's not good at all. I was hoping it wasn't going to come to this. Well, not so soon, anyway. When you're ready, meet me by the border and listen to my instructions, okay?